In this video, we're going to be talking about e-commerce, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about which e-commerce plugin we should use for our WordPress website. Now, there's lots of e-commerce plugins out there, and so because we couldn't cover them all, we tried to narrow down the list to the best ones that would cover the most users' needs. So before I get into the plugins that we're going to cover, I want to talk a little bit about what e-commerce stands for, or what's included when we say e-commerce. So obviously the most popular one, or the one that would be most well known, would be using an e-commerce store to sell a physical product. So a customer comes to your website, they purchase a product, you get paid, and you ship out a physical good to the user, and that would just be a simple physical product. But there's a couple other things that are included, or that we can use e-commerce for. So for example, if you are a consultant or a coach of some kind, something where you would be selling a unit of time, or basically something that's intangible, so not a physical item, but an hour of service or something else where it's not a tangible product that you would ship to a user. We would call those virtual products, and you can also use our e-commerce plugins to sell those. And you can also use e-commerce to sell a digital product or a file, such as an MP3 or a PowerPoint presentation or an ebook, or music files if you're a musician. And so we can use e-commerce to sell those, and those are referred to as downloadable products. So we have simple physical products, we have downloadable, and we have virtual. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about is we also use e-commerce for our membership websites. So if in your functionality list you chose both e-commerce and membership, so you want to have, say, a private area of your website, and this would only be accessible by your members, and specifically for its relation to e-commerce, if you're charging a monthly or a yearly price for that membership, try to keep in mind that the plugin that you choose today will also be the plugin that you will use for membership. So both plugins that we talk about have extensions or add-ons that allow for that membership functionality. So recurring payments every month or every 6 months, which would then allow them a role or access permissions to certain parts of your website, and then also the functionality for locking down specific content. So if you are doing both e-commerce and a membership website, or just specifically a membership website, keep in mind that when you get to the membership area or the membership tutorial, whichever e-commerce plugin you've chosen, that should also be the path or the decision that you should make for your membership. It should be the same. So now that we've covered the basics, I want to talk about the two plugins that we are going to cover. The first is called WooCommerce, from a company called WooThemes, and the second is Exchange WP. Exchange WP used to be called iThemes Exchange, but it has very recently been transferred to a new development team, or a team that's going to handle the plugin, its marketing, and its development. And with that, the name has also changed to Exchange WP. So just if you're around the web, or you're Googling about e-commerce and you see the name iThemes Exchange, just keep in mind that it is Exchange WP. They're the same plugin. They've just been taken over by a new team. So in this video, I'm going to go over the basic functionality of both plugins. I'm going to install them both and show you what they have out of the box, and tell you a little bit about the pros and cons of using each one, so you can decide which one is best for your specific situation. So the first plugin I'm going to cover is WooCommerce. Now, the core plugin of WooCommerce is absolutely 100% free. So you can actually download WooCommerce straight from the WordPress repository, which we talked about when we talked about how to install plugins. So if I search for WooCommerce in our search bar, you'll see that it'll pop up, and it's down here on my results. And that's the thing, there are a lot of WooCommerce extensions and third-party plugins, so make sure that when you're installing this, you're actually installing the WooCommerce core plugin. but I'll show you that if you actually choose WooCommerce. Don't worry, the tutorials will cover installation and setup and configuration, so don't worry too much about that. But one thing, a way to tell that you're in the right plugin, if you see the name WooCommerce, you see the Woo Themes, which is the company behind it, you see their logo, and you'll also see this Buy Automatic. That's with 2 T's and 1 C, and that is the company behind, or the name, the developer name behind WooCommerce and Woo Themes. So that's how you'll know that you're installing the right plugin. So I'll just click Install Now, and I will activate it. And that's going to bring me to a setup wizard for WooCommerce. And I will just kind of quickly go through this. I'm not going to talk about it too much, because I'll go through this again through the installation tutorial for WooCommerce. I will walk you through this wizard. So I'm just going to select my country. We'll just leave that as the UK. You can pop in your address here, the currency that you want to use, and you can tell it about what kind of products that you want to sell. And that's just going to kind of set up some of the initial configuration for the store. They just want to kind of save you a few steps when you go through later on configuration. So it'll set up the basic configuration for the kind of products that you're selling. So we have physical products, we have our digital products, or a combination of both, because some people might be selling both. So I'm just going to click Not Right Now, because I don't want it to do anything for me, and I'll click on Skip Setup. So this is WooCommerce, the main menu. This is where you can get the different sections of WooCommerce, and then the products itself, or the products post type, where you're actually creating products, that is a separate menu. So I'm just going to go into the settings, and I do cover these in detail during the WooCommerce tutorials. So I'm not going to go through every field, but I'll just kind of give you an idea in general. Under the general settings, you're setting up things like countries that you want to sell to, the country that you're selling from, and because WooCommerce covers shipping and taxes as well, they also have some options for who you can ship to and who you can't ship to, etc. So this is just some base configuration, and for display they have currency symbols and picking between thousand and decimal separators, because different countries show their currency in different ways. Some of them have their currency symbol on the left or the right. Some of them use commas for the decimal point. And some of them have different symbols for the thousandths separator. So it allows you to customize all of that. The next one I'm going to cover is the shipping, because WooCommerce out of the box has a full shipping system. So this is a way to track different, or set up different shipping rates based on where people are ordering from. So keep in mind that this out of the box does not automatically get rates or the exact rate from, say, USPS or UPS or any of the other shipping companies, but it allows you to put in flat rates or fixed rates to ship to, say, from New York to California, or however many zones that you want to set up. It also allows you to set up free shipping for certain areas and things like that. So it has a shipping system in that, and it also has commercial extensions which can be purchased from different shipping suppliers. So you can take a look at the Woo Themes or the WooCommerce website, and I'll show you that in a minute. And if you have a contract or a specific account with a shipping company, it's very possible that they have a WooCommerce extension, which through an API, as a user fills out their address, gets the exact shipping cost. But if you haven't gotten that advanced, or you're just starting out, you may want to, if you have the height and weight and dimensions of the products that you're going to sell, you can go down to your local shipping company and you can get the prices for the areas that you plan to ship to, whether it be all 50 states or whatever. They can run it through a computer and they can print out you a list of prices, and then in WooCommerce you can set up shipping zones for the different states or the different cities and set up the shipping costs. And they also have shipping classes, which is if a product is specifically bulky or it's going to cost additional money to ship it for whatever reason, you can apply classes to products as you create them, and then it's going to track that as well. So it's going to automatically tack on those shipping charges based on where they are and if it has any of these specific shipping classes. So all of that is in WooCommerce out of the box. And they also have payment options. So they, out of the box, it works with PayPal, there is a Stripe gateway if you are interested in going through Stripe. And for PayPal, they have both PayPal Standard and PayPal Express, and I will talk about what the difference is between those two. And then they have some offline or in-person payment options. So they have cash on delivery available, they have a check or money order payment, and they have a bank transfer payment. So if you're allowing for those kind of payments, those offline payments, they allow payment gateways through that. So you can set that all up. Some of the other interesting things about WooCommerce is that they have a inventory tracking system. So they allow you to track inventory of your products automatically, and they can, as products are purchased, it adjusts that inventory. So you're always going to know how much product you have. And they have certain actions that can be taken if a product is out of stock. So we can automatically hide that product from the front end, or we can put up a notice to users that that product is currently out of stock. And you can also get notifications when your product is getting low on stock or runs out of stock. So WooCommerce has that all set up. It also has a coupon system. So you can create different coupons and promotions to offer your users. So they're very easy to create. You can have an unlimited amount of them. They can be both product percentage or a fixed price or a fixed cost discount that can be taken off a product. It can be taken off the entire cart. There's a lot of flexibility there in how we set up our coupons and promotions. And the last thing is the reports. WooCommerce has built in a tremendous amount of reporting, from taxes to product sales to how many users registered from your site during checkout. They have a ton of reports that gives you a lot of valuable information as a store owner, tracking inventory, and you can look at this information from the past year or the past week. So it really gives you a lot of information, specifically if you have a lot of products. This is going to be really helpful for you to get a bird's eye view of what's happening in your store and how much profit you're making and stuff like that. And the last thing I want to go over with WooCommerce is that it has several different types of products that you can sell. So we talked about physical products, which WooCommerce can handle. It also handles downloadable and virtual products. It also can tie into, it has paid commercial extensions through a membership bundle, which can allow WooCommerce to do recurring payments, so payments on a schedule every month, and also control or integrate with a membership plugin that you can purchase through WooCommerce, so you can create your membership site through that. They also allow for affiliate links or external products. So if you are an affiliate for somebody else, you can set up a store which, when they click on that Buy Now button, they'll actually be led via your affiliate link or your referral ID to the site so that you can get your commission. And the last product type is variable products. So what this is if, let's say, you are a t-shirt supplier, you sell clothing or something along those lines, if you have products in multiple colors and multiple sizes, so if you have a shirt and it comes in 3 different sizes and 3 different colors, you're going to end up filling up your store with a lot of products which are really just the same product. So they may be priced differently or something like that, but essentially they're the same product. So in WooCommerce, instead of creating 15 different products, you would create what's called a variable product. And that allows you to give a product attributes such as size and color. And you can manage those, what they're called as variations, and you can manage those variations independently, which means that they can have their own price, they can have inventory tracked separately, they can go on sale separately, etc. But they're all in the system, part of this one product. So it becomes a very easy way to manage your products in a simpler way. And also on the front end, it gives users that ability to kind of choose their color and choose their size and have the price update accordingly. And all of that is trackable via your reports. So variable products are pretty powerful functionality from WooCommerce. So when we're talking about which e-commerce plugin we want to purchase, the pros of WooCommerce are it has been around for a very long time. It has a very, very solid reputation. It is the most popular e-commerce plugin for WordPress, if not one of the most popular plugins overall. I think there's a few that beat it, but it's pretty close to being the most downloaded plugin for WordPress, so it definitely has that history there. It is a very powerful plugin. It does take up a lot of resources, but because we've chosen great hosting, all of our hosting options can handle WooCommerce without a problem. It has great reporting. Because it has been around for so long, a lot of themes and plugins come with integration to WooCommerce out of the box. Because it's so popular, a lot of theme creators and plugin creators have integration out of the box with WooCommerce, which makes it kind of easy to fit along with other systems. It has that tax and that shipping and all these advanced e-commerce functionalities right out of the box without adding in anything else. So it really is a powerhouse when it comes to e-commerce. The only real con to using WooCommerce is that it is a lot of information at first. Some people can feel a little bit overwhelmed, but we do have videos that go over in detail each part, including shipping, including taxes, including setting up payment gateways. So we will make it easier, but it can be a little overwhelming at first. But if you can learn about it and learn to use it, it is also incredibly powerful. So I'm going to say that this is a con, but really it's not. The WooCommerce comes with a tremendous amount of both in-house plugins and extensions, and as well as third-party extensions and add-ons. And so the con would be that this can get a little bit expensive depending on the functionality that you need. But as we can see, WooCommerce comes with a tremendous amount of functionality. So when we're talking about extensions that we might need, we're really talking about a few things that are going to be specifically for us. So whether it be, I want to tie in with my shipping company for my rates, or I have a specific payment processor that I need to use, or I need, table rate shipping, or some kind of different, something that makes your e-store unique in its functionality requirements. And also, or something like an easier example, something like a membership website. So we could see that the WooCommerce has the Woo Members Bundle, which is our route that we take if we want to set up a membership website with WooCommerce, and that runs $300. The plugins range from anywhere from $79 up to $300. There's also some free ones, as you can see, such as the Stripe Gateway, Amazon Pay, PayFast, and some other ones. And here we have like the United States Postal Service and UPS. Those each run $79. So if you need to get the exact rates from them, so if you are purchasing a lot of these plugins, it can end up being a little bit pricey. But you shouldn't need too many of them because WooCommerce really comes with that functionality out of the box. So I would say that when you're doing your research, check out the extensions, and also just do it in case you may have functionality that you need or that you want that you don't even know exists. So checking out those extensions is a really good way to see what's available with e-commerce stores, and specifically WooCommerce, or it may give you an idea for something that how you want your shop to run that you didn't know. So I would say check out this extensions. Even if you think everything I talked about is all you need, check it out. They have it separated by category. They also have that free category, and just see which extensions you might need. So when you're doing your comparison versus our alternative, pricing and that kind of thing can be a way that you can weigh the differences. So really that's the only con. The other con that some people talk about is that WooCommerce can take up a lot of resources on your hosting. But like I say, when we're using one of the hosting options that we've talked about, Pantheon, Flywheel, Kinsta, all of those hosting services can handle WooCommerce and a bunch of other stuff with no problem. So that really doesn't affect us, but you may read that it takes a lot of resources and the site slows down. That's not going to be your experience with WooCommerce and our real hosts, because they give you the amount of resources that you need to run real plugins and real functionality. So that is our overview of WooCommerce. Very powerful system, lots of extensions available. Definitely do the due diligence to see the functionality that you're going to need and how much that's going to cost you. But WooCommerce out of the box does come with pretty much everything that you would need, order management, product management, and all the standard stuff with products. So images, product galleries, pricing, sale pricing, tying into shipping and taxes and all that kind of stuff. We've talked about the different kinds of products, variable products, simple products, etc. It can be used for membership and subscriptions. It can be used for virtual and downloadable products, although the membership is a paid extension. It has a full tax system. It has a full shipping system. It has a full inventory system. It has fantastic reports, a lot of customizable options, and it has a massive amount of integration with commercial and free themes, as well as plugins. They're all kind of built. Everybody kind of expects that WooCommerce is going to be a likely option, and so they build their plugins and their themes for it. So that is WooCommerce. It is a fantastic option. If you go that route, you will not be disappointed. It's just a matter of doing that due diligence to find out what it's going to cost you in the end. So now that we've talked about WooCommerce, I'm going to talk about the alternative. And the alternative is a plugin called Exchange WP, which, as we talked about, used to be called iThemes Exchange, but it's now Exchange WP because it's been taken over by another team. So if you type in Exchange WP, this core plugin is also free. So both of our core plugins are free plugins that we can install. It's just the extensions and the add-ons for unique functionality that we need to pay for. So similar to other one, look for that by Exchange WP username. Exchange WP Simple WP e-commerce is the title of the plugin. So we're going to click on Install Now, and we're going to activate that plugin. So the difference, I would say, between these two is that Exchange WP really has a focus on ease of use and being very easy to pick up for even the most non-technical of users. So like I said, the WooCommerce can be very intimidating. Exchange WP aims to kind of fix that problem by making its plugin very, very lightweight and very, very kind of easy to use. It has a kind of a very simple setup process, but also it doesn't come with a lot of that functionality that is packed into WooCommerce. Its focus is on being a very lightweight plugin, and you just kind of add in the things that you need as you go along. And a lot of those things come in the form of free extensions. So they're not doing it so they can charge you for every little piece of functionality. The majority of the plugins that you would need for a standard e-commerce store do come free. They're free add-ons, but they don't come installed with the core plugin because they want it to be very lightweight, use a minimal amount of resources, and be as easy as possible to set up. So they also offer physical products, digital products or virtual products, and a membership, but again, that is through a paid extension. The membership for both is a paid extension. They also both handle PayPal and Stripe, and they also both offer offline payments. So as you can see, this is a very simple setup process. You just kind of pick the products that you'd like. They have a very basic, the flat rate and the free shipping rates. It's not as complex as WooCommerce. It's a lot more basic, and it's basically just a flat rate for everybody, regardless of location. It's just, this is the rate for shipping, and then free shipping. And then you have your payment options, and that's going to set up everything for you. I'll just pick PayPal and offline, and you fill in your PayPal email address and stuff like that. So it's quite easy to set up, and then we can go into our products. So they have all products, and they separate here digital and physical products. They have a product example in here, and they have all the same product options as far as the basic stuff. So they have, just like WooCommerce, they have title, price, sale price, description. They have images that you can upload an image. You could put in. They have inventory tracking. They have the different, the weight, the height, that kind of stuff. But as you can see, it's just it's a much simpler process to get set up and to get going creating products, but they don't have that kind of functionality that WooCommerce does out of the box. So they come in the forms of add-ons. So if we check out the add-ons, you can see that they have basic reporting already enabled, and then there's some other stuff like billing address. They do have coupons, digital downloads is actually one of the free extensions, but that comes installed if you set it up during the setup wizard. Guest checkout, multi-item cart. So you can see that there's a bunch of free add-ons that could be enabled in the back end that don't come necessarily with the core plugin installed because they want to keep it lightweight. And then they also have premium plugins or commercial plugins that you can use to extend that functionality even further, and that's available on their website. So let me bring up their website and I'll talk to you a little bit about the pricing. So instead of purchasing each plugin one-off or in bundles like with WooCommerce, the Exchange WP extensions come with kind of like a yearly membership. So with WooCommerce, we're paying yearly licenses one-off or in a bundle, and with Exchange WP, we have different levels, and depending on the level you have, that's the add-ons that come with your level. So you would purchase, you're getting probably a lot more plugins for the price, depending on which ones you need. So because this has just recently been transferred, at the moment I don't have a list of which plugins come with each package because they're literally in the process of updating their new information. I will update the tutorial text with a link to that, because one of the things that you're going to want to do is, if you're deciding between WooCommerce and Exchange WP, you're going to want to think about the functionality that you need, right? We're going to go through the WooCommerce directory. We're going to look at the plugins that are available for Exchange WP, which you can check out on their website. And we're going to see which ones we need, and then we're going to see what that's going to cost us. And if price is a factor, then that's something we're going to want to take a look at. So just to give you an example, like with pricing, for the membership plugins or integrations that come with Exchange WP, for their membership plugin, you need this $399 per year membership level. With WooCommerce, we just saw earlier that their bundle for membership is $299. So going with WooCommerce for our membership and e-commerce website, we're going to save ourselves $100 a year. However, when we're talking about some of the other extensions where you might need 5 or 6 extensions to tweak the functionality of your store, a lot of those are going to be included in this $59 or $129 package, in which case you're saving a lot of money by going with Exchange WP. So I'll update that tutorial text when I get it from Exchange WP to have a list of which plugins come with which package, and that's going to help you to make an informed decision. But really all of that is if you need extra functionality. When we're talking about base functionality, both WooCommerce and Exchange WP come with all of the basic functionality. I would say that WooCommerce has more complex variations of it, and they do have more functionality out of the box, even when comparing all of the free extensions that come with Exchange WP versus WooCommerce out of the box. I would say that WooCommerce still has the edge when it comes to inherent functionality that comes along with the plugin. So that's something to keep in mind. So I would say, if you're looking for a standard e-commerce store and you're going to be doing taxes and shipping and inventory, and you're going to be doing different kinds of variations of products or multiple types of products, or you just want all of that functionality at your fingertips, then WooCommerce is an absolutely solid choice for you, and you're probably going to get a lot out of it. If you are looking for the simplest option available, if what you're selling is maybe just a one digital file and it's not going to be the main focus of your website, or you just kind of want to go with the one that's going to be the quickest to set up, and you're just creating products and you're going, then Exchange WP might be a good alternative. So I would say take a look at the websites of both. So we're looking at woothemes.com or exchangewp.com. Look at the extensions and the functionality that you're going to need, and try to calculate what that's going to cost you per year if price is a factor. And then just the kind of ease of use and how they both feel. So I've kind of very quickly shown you the back end of WooCommerce and the back end of Exchange WP, so you might get a feeling about which one that you would prefer to work with. Both of them will integrate well with our front end options, so don't worry about that. WooCommerce definitely has an edge on that. It has more integration with themes out of the box. But I will show you, because Exchange WP has a great kind of front end system, how they implemented that. I will show you how to make your stores and your product pages look great no matter which one you choose. So when we're talking about comparing them, we want to look at the do we want the powerhouse or do we want the lightweight kind of add as you go plugin? Is taxes and shipping really important to us? Because if it is, those out of the box functionality from WooCommerce is definitely the route to go. What extensions do we need and how much it's going to cost? And then just basically the ease of use. Do you want to go one that really focuses on being the simplest as it can be and still, perform properly? Or are we willing to put in a little extra time to learn the ins and outs of WooCommerce to give us that real power and that real functionality of our e-store? So that's the decision that you need to make. The good news is there is no real bad choice. Both of these plugins are fantastic. The support on both is fantastic. They have a lot of add-ons and extensions for both. WooThemes definitely has more, or WooCommerce has more, but depending on which ones you need and the pricing, that can go either way. And so if you are looking for e-commerce, both of these are fantastic choices. And it just kind of depends on what your needs are and stuff like that. So check out the websites of both, check out the extensions of both, and depending on which one you have decided to go with, click on the button below that corresponds with that choice, and I will walk you through installing, setting up, and creating products and everything else that you need to know about each plugin.